What's up, agents? Welcome back to another Division video. The winter event has started today, and if you go into your progression commendations into discovery and scroll down, you'll see you've got a brand new commendation, the present peaker distinction. Do not worry that I've got 11 out of 40. We're going to try and show you all 40 individual locations, even though it is a little bit broke right now. But these presents don't just yield items and the commendation score. They will also give you legacy vanity items from the old Christmas events that we've not been able to get for a long time. So if you want them as well, hunting a few of these down is definitely going to be worth your time. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. I will thank everybody at the end where we got all of the information from, because it's from my Discord, Reddit, from people in chat, it's from all over the place. So we'll make sure we thank all the appropriate sources at the end of the video. But with all that said, let's get into the first one. I am going to track it at the top right. As you can see, it says 11 out of 40. So when I get to 40, we'll still have 11 locations to find and to show you. But this is location number 1. You can see right here, probably the most famous Christmas tree in the division. Here it is. You can see on the map, there it is, just south of the base of operations. And you can see Tommy the Teddy sat in the throne where he belongs. And if you shoot, you can see there, I got the axle. I got, well, 1, and I didn't get any keys that time, but you will get keys as well for the winter event. All right, let's move on to the next one. Okay, here is your number 2. It's not very far from the previous one, but I'll just show you here. That's where we traveled from there to there. And I'll zoom out on the map, zoom in on the map, and you can see here, you look around, there is another Christmas tree with a bench with another lovely green present on that we will shoot. I got myself some Eagle's Grasp. It's definitely a heroic rolled loot, which is pretty cool. But let's move on to number 3. All right, this is the next one. There'll be no logical order for these because essentially they're going to be listed as they've come in and people have found them in my Discord. And considering they're only going to be around for a couple of weeks, I don't think it's too big of a priority to put them into an instantly insane ordered guide. So next one is going to be up near DCD. Just run down the street a little bit here. You can see that here. There is DCD just down there. And you can see the lovely present on top of this mural type thing here. Got ourselves a captain, and that's that one. And let's move on to another one. All right, here is your next one. Again, not too far from DCD. Well, DUA, sorry. So you go up here from DUA, up the street here, as if you're heading towards the Red Dragon. And you can see here, there's usually a vent here in this area. And then you got some steps, and you got yourself another one. Got myself a winter key. Nice. Another one not too far from just where we were. So you can see DUA is here. So it's north of DUA. Instead of going straight up to Red Dragon, you want to turn right and then turn left down a little bit of an alleyway. So we'll come around here, and there's the alleyway. And if you went out of here and went right, that's where Red Dragon would be. Come down here, and you can see we've got another one there. Oh, I got another key. Nice. All right, so your next one is in this area just here. So you can see here, there's 5th Street Northwest. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. See this area on the map. The last stop safe house is just there as well. And when you look at the area, it's very, very Christmassy themed. All of the markets are all around. If you come to the center stage in the middle, you can see your next present. All right, the next one is just here. So not far from where we just were. So it's actually in this circle area here where the water marker is. You can see there is the last stop safe house. And there's this lovely memorial here with the hat on. And you'll get your next present. All right, let's move on. All right, here is your next one. So you can see we've kind of swapped maps. We've gone back to the White House kind of district, but you can see we're here on this street here, which is what, 15th Street Northwest. Travel about halfway up, And you'll see this kind of alleyway here. Head in. You can shoot the lock on the gate. And you will see just in the corner there where the SHD cache is your next present. Alright, here is your next one again with the hat on. You can see the present just there. But if I go to my map, it's north of the White House. You can see exactly where I am. I'm going to shoot that one there. Get that one done. A quick look around. As you noticed as well, something that's probably easier to do with this, we've got a map on normal with no directives. It just makes things a bit easier. Alright, on to the next one. This next one is hiding up high, as you can see. There's probably going to be an open world event here. There is very, very frequently. But you can see we're in the White House district again. This is the public execution where we're at. And it is on top of the monument there, but you don't have to worry, your loot will drop down. Oh, I got one of the new equalizers. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Okay, here is our next one. So you can see here, we're in downtown west, just south of bank headquarters. So if you come down the road and turn into the component section just here, and you'll come up into this bit here. Sometimes there's open world event here as well. And you can see there is another present. Move on to the next one. All right, here is the next one. So you can see we're still in downtown west, just over the left of the campus. If you go into this area here, you'll see there was an echo here as well. It will look like this. And you'll see this one on the floor. Move on to the next one. Okay, here is your next one, just north of the final Epiphany safe house, or to the right of Fallen Cranes. You can see here, there's Fallen Cranes. There's always some kind of open world event here, and actually the Winter Festival bounty is just down there to go and fight the Krampus. But if you come up here, you'll see there is your next one. Nice and easy. Move on. Alright, here is your next one. So if you see, go to Federal Emergency Bunker. There's always a named NPC that's hanging around, just around in this area here. Federal Emergency Bunker is literally just there. I'll zoom in. You can see here is the circle. And then the present is just on top of the monument, just there. Let's move on to the next one. Alright. For the next one, head to DCD, which obviously is just here. And if you head around this way, there is a playground. And there's here it is there, and you can see there is the present. If I zoom in, this is where we are. And there we go. That is our next one, and we got a fight on our hands as well. So we'll be right back for the next one. Okay, here is another one for you. So you can see here we're at the demolition site CP. Just south of it, often where the enemies spawn out of the grid just here. You can see the CPs just there. And there is the present. Move on to the next one. Alright, here is your next one. We're down in East Mall this time, in this squared area here. The sinkhole is there. We are north of the sinkhole in the circled water area. And as you can see, there is the next present. Okay, here is your next one. We'll go to the map. So basically, if you go to District Union Arena, you can run through the house where the hunter is, and you come out the other side. When you come out of the other side there, you'll see this Christmas type area, and there is another present there for you to collect. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, here is the next one. So you can see to the left of DCD and down a tiny bit to the right of the nest. We're on this street here. There's a territory control often here as well. And you can see there it is, just on top. We can get the next one. Alright, let's move on to the next one. Okay, we are back at DCD again. So you can see just north of it here in this square here, there is a collectible here that I have never collected, and there is the White House. This is the area here, the big pole. Also a quick look around for you. And yeah, there is the entrance to the White House as well. And you'll get that one there. And this is your next one. So you can see here, we're in downtown east. You can see Grand Washington Hotel is there. And you kind of come down the road to this corner. And it's kind of just hiding in the light there. I'm going to move out a little bit, then you can see. But you can see there, you know, the mission is just there. And you're going to head into here and get that one there. Jobs are good. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, this is the next one. To the right of the Ivy Tunnel, you can see just here, there is the target practice. You're going to come to where this marker is here on my map. If I take a quick look around, even though it's dark, you can see Ivy Tunnel is just down there. And you'll see this kind of monument area here with the president sat up on the top. Let's move on to the next one. All right, here is the next one. So there's MLK Library, CP, and obviously Grand Washington Hotel. So this is again where there is normally open world activity. There's MLK just there. You can teleport in where Q is just over there. Come up the steps here. You'll see there's a present just there in front of you. Let's move on to the next one. All right, this is your next one. So you can see here on the map, there's National Bond just there. You're going to come down south a little bit. The area looks like this. And if you head up these steps, you'll see a present just in front of you there. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, here is your next one. So you can see the mast CP is just there. We came out of the shop and just come north. There's the CP. There is the water over there. And you can see next to these lovebirds here, you get that one there. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, this is your next one here. So there's the final safe house there. You're going to come out and go there. Or you can go north from the demolition site up the street. You'll find this lovely looking building here with all of the Christmas decorations on. And if you head just as going in to the building, you'll see it just hiding just there behind Santa, who's offering a hand to show you exactly where it is. Let's move on to the next one. All right, this is your next one. So again, it's an area where there is often an event. You can see just south of the Washington Monument, there's this lovely little stage here, which you'll recognize when you see it, and you can pop your next present. Move on to the next one. All right, here is the next one. So this is where you need to be. You can see there's the demolition site, and you're kind of going to go up from there and then down this street here. That looks a little bit like this. When you get here, you can see this will be up. This wire won't be down, so shoot it and the wire will come down. And then you're going to travel up. And you can see there is your next one just on the top. Maybe you could throw a grenade up there, but yeah, you can just shoot this and the wire will come down for you to travel up. Let's move on to the next one. All right, here is the next one. I'm just going to go outside to show you the start of this one, just so you know exactly where it is that you are going. But if you look on the map, you can see that Space Admin is just there, which you can see the entrance to it just there. You're going to come down the street and you'll see this doorway here. Head in. And you'll see a Christmas tree with a present sat in front of it. Let's move on to the next one. We've got 11 to go. Right, this one is a long one, so big shout out to Kata in the chat that pointed this one out. So you go to the what's this one called? Just double check, let me get it right. So the Overgrowth, where we've got the brand new mural. Big props for that. But you're going to head up here, and you'll see a contaminated building. Oh, I'm getting attacked. I get attacked so often. But just where Q is here, there is the entrance. And you are actually going to need to run this entire contaminated building. Hopefully I can remember now where to go. I'm just going to climb up.
You can't climb here, Cobra.
And up we go here.
I tried XD.
Oh, wrong way. Back up, please. And then you're going to kind of sprint through. Keep following and following and following. And then eventually, I believe, if I remember right, jump through the window on the left.
Hostiles guarding location nearby.
Head down.
Exiting contaminated area.
Through this little bit of a weird area. These doors will be shut, but you can open them. And you'll get your next present there with a comm if you've not already got it, just like me. Move on to the next one. Alright, the next one that you're going to find is just north of the castle. If you come out, and you can see here, there's a lovely carousel with a present just in the middle that you can pop. That leaves us with 9, I believe, left to go. Okay, here is the next one. It's north of the archive in the food area. You can see there it is. I'll just take a quick look around. There's your exit from the safe house. And that is your next one. Let's move on. Alright, this is our next one. So we're right down here at the White House location. You can see here, if you come to this area here, there's the big crane with the car. And there is one just there for you. That's the next one. Alright, here is your next one at Fallen Cranes. Literally come and stand inside the CP. And if you take a look at the actual crane, you'll see one just hiding just there. See you later for that one. Okay, here is your next one. It's the cinder block. So if you come round and behind it, which is just that road just there, you can come up here and hop up on this bit here. You can see there's this little stuff here. We're going to hit that. And that's your next one. Okay, we got one more for you here. So this one's in Federal Triangle. It's on this corner here from the Navy Plaza. There we go. And you'll just have a quick look around. You can see the CP's just there. And that's that one. Okay, agents, here is your next one. It's in southwest, I would guess, just at this food location just here. You can see here north of the No Hope Hotel. And it's just on the shelves chilling. And while you're here, you can collect some food. Okay, here is your next one. It's right next to the No Hope Hotel. You can see the CP is literally just there. And on this flatbed just here, you can see there's one there. Okay, here is your next one, which was almost taking a swim. So you've got the shop safe house just here. I'm going to come over here to the right and you'll see it chilling on the log. And here we are, the final present. Dognuts came in the absolute goat and found it after we tried all last night during the stream to find it. It is here on the map. You can see here, Tidal Basin is just there. DZ South CP is just there, right in the middle. You'll see the underground entrance marker. And if you turn around and you look at this house, it's just up there. I never ever would have found it. Shoot it, there we go. What a celebration. All 40 found. I believe I'm probably the first person, I think, hopefully, with all 40 locations. So big shout out to the crowdfunding post on Reddit, the Division 2 Secrets Discord, all of my Discord, everybody in the stream last night, and then Dognuts as well for this final position. That's going to be it for the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.